Hi guys, it's Erin. Today I want to take you around the farm and my gardens to do a little tour and to just talk about what's to come this season, what the plans are, always subject to change. I wanted to show you an update on all of the ranunculus and anemone that we have out here. It is still pretty frozen out here. Anywhere that isn't in the sun is still really frozen. It's been quite a bit of a cold snap, nothing like the Midwest and the South and the East Coast are having right now, but it's been the first time we've really frozen this year. So all of these guys got a little protection from the weather overnight. This is a whole row of white anemone. This one is a pastel mix. And then we've got several rows that are partway filled with ranunculus. The low temperatures that a ranunculus really can survive is around 28 degrees. And we've been there the last couple of nights. We have a couple more nights of that, which is why we have 1 or 2 layers of frost cloth. I only have 1 layer on the anemone just because they're a bit more cold hardy than the ranunculus are. They do a lot better and don't seem to mind the weather. But after the next couple nights, it's supposed to warm up again, so we'll take all this down. I'll leave the hoops up, but I'll take down the cloth to make sure they get all the airflow they need in the sunshine. I do try to pull them back in the afternoon when they're in the sun so that they can get that sunshine and that airflow. But I was short a little bit on hoops. So got more to come in the mail. Oh, John just got home. He is in the middle of fertilizing and spreading compost in the garden. He filled up the peony. This is our peony bed. Filled this all up with compost this morning. I do need to go in and spread it out to get it off the crowns of the peonies, but it looks really good right now. Okay, so there's been a little bit of progress out here. These guys are all looking really good. These ones I just planted, so they're looking a little tired from the weather, but they're all still alive, so we're good. I want to walk over and talk about the new project that we had done this fall. This garden bed, the entryway gardens, also got a top coat of compost, which looks great. But this is what I want to talk about. We had this installed this fall. Really looking forward to warmer weather so we could sit out here and have fires and just hang out. But the thing that I need to do is figure out, I'm going to have a flower bed around here. This is my tea. A flower bed all the way around this back side. However, and I need to figure out what to put in it. Over on this side, because of what's here and this tree, which I love, some of these shrubs are going to go. I'm going to cut them down. Some will stay, but this is going to stay have quite a lot more shade than the other side. This side over here gets all the hot afternoon sun because that direction directly behind it is west. So it'll cook out here. So I'm trying to think of what plants to put in here that could do sort of both sun and shade, or if I want to transition from a sun garden to a shade garden. So any ideas that you guys have, I'm open to. I'd love to hear them. In the next few weeks, I want to get this sort of planned out so that I can order all the plants that I need to fill the holes. It's got to be somewhat simple, and I would prefer shrubs, maybe a few perennials, but not much more than that. I didn't have a whole lot of change. Cut back a lot in this garden over here. John's been spreading compost. You can see some of the little bulbs that I planted with you guys earlier in the season are sprouting. You can see, I think, crocus and some little tiny daffodils. right here. Those little guys. It's been such a warm spring that I think a lot of our plants are confused. I did also want to show you over here, John is part of the Arbor Day Foundation, and he bought some trees. He bought a few evergreens, and they sent a whole bunch of flowering trees to go with them. So he potted all up the deciduous trees. All the evergreens are on the south side of the house. But these guys, we have eastern redbuds and white dogwoods, and that's all of these. Oh, and crepe myrtles. There's so many of them. They're obviously all little whips, and it'll take them quite a while to grow up and turn into big trees. But I think we're going to keep them in these pots for a year while we figure out where we're going to put them. But I'm really excited. Lots of spring blooms and fall color and all the good stuff. John's been planting little beds of anemone here and there. He's just having a ball with all this. Not a lot has changed over here. It's really, it's winter. Not a whole lot is changing, period. We still have our pineapple mint in here. We have Izzy. I do need to mow a lot of this down, but it's all pretty good. You can see the flowering kale is still super happy in there. I'll go in there in a minute and show you. But most everything is just, sleeping. We did take out this big trellis that we had the creeping trumpets on. It was kind of falling apart. They were more heavy duty than, the plants were more heavy duty than the trellis was able to hold. So we're still working on what we're gonna do here this year. Oh, lots of cut back to do. I just quick want to show you what the flowering kale looks like, because it's still beautiful even though it's been freezing. It doesn't seem to care, man. These moles are just the worst. Look at those piles. But look at these guys. So many of them are still beautiful. Yeah, all the white stuff, that's just all fertilizer. I think bone meal or some slow release stuff that none of it's going to be using right now, but it will in the spring. There's really not much, like I said, more of these tiny little daffodils. They've all pushed sprouts because it's been so warm. There's another happy accident about not growing a bunch of tulips this year. This weather's been too warm. The bulbs that I do have planted, the small amount, they're not going to do real well. It hasn't stayed cold for any period of time this whole winter. I think this last week has been the coldest it's been, and it's going to warm right back up into almost 60 degrees. It's bizarre weather. Okay. Like I said, there's not a whole lot. I did order a whole bunch of petunia, super petunia, a bunch of yellow petunias to go in here. You can see how frozen everything still is. If it doesn't hit the sunlight and it's already going behind the trees, it won't. It's not gonna thaw out until Monday or Tuesday. This is all just frozen. But I ordered a lot of petunias and some sweet potato vine and some other shrubs. John got some more sedums, that lemon coral, or some other kinds of sedums that should brighten up all of the gardens this summer. I'm really looking forward to having just big, bright, bold color all over the place. It's going to be fun. Okay, and then I want to show you this garden over here also, what we call our bedroom garden. I managed to get all of these roses pruned back in the last week. because there was a dry spell, and ideally it should be a dry spell if you're going to cut them, so they have a chance for the cut ends to sort of seal over before you have a lot of rain, to reduce the amount of fungus issues or molding or anything like that. So I took advantage of this cold snap and went for it. But this bed, aside from right here where there's a ton of grass, because I also have daffodils in here that I need to pull the grass up around, the rest of this has all been cleaned up, tilled up, ready to turn in to the perennial beds that I have been talking about. I'm really excited. Have all those echinacea seeds and the echinops. That's mainly what I'm going to try and get growing in here, but a few other things will probably land in here. It always seems to work that way. I'm super excited though. I'd much prefer to have perennials in this bed because it's so close to the house and we see it constantly, than the annual beds that get flipped constantly and are always in some, seemingly always in some state of change, instead of just a bunch of perennials. One of the big goals for me for this farm, along with being productive, is I want it to feel like somewhere I want to be, because it's my home. So it matters to me that it's both functional and beautiful, and somewhere that, like I said, where I want to spend my time. This bed we call St. Francis Garden because right over there is a statue of St. Francis. It's all looking pretty good. Everything's been basically cut back that needs to. We do have some ranunculus that have wintered over, or summered over, I guess. I planted them last spring and they're still there and coming back, which I think is a testament to the warm weather that we've had. But this garden is one of my favorites. We did lose a sedum right here to the voles. They seem to have been living under this lamb's ear. When I was cutting that back, I found very large, significant holes, and one of the sedum had been killed. But we cut back all the dusty miller. I might actually take this out and move it somewhere else when it warms up a little bit. It gets too big for this space, and I've also got petunias to put in here. And there's lots of perennials already in this space. Coming around here, this portion right here, this will never see any sunshine this time of year, so it's all frozen. It's staying frozen. But I have some more hydrangeas that I'm going to place in here around these two that are already existing, which I'm really looking forward to. A big sort of block of hydrangeas. The blue hydrangeas will be really nice. See, there's St. Francis. We have a lot of bulbs that'll be coming up here, and hostas and ferns that will all come back. Most of this is pretty well full. We have all of these hellebore that just don't quit even in the depths of winter. They're still beautiful. Oh, look at those guys. I'm gonna have to make a bouquet with these soon. Some of these do need to be cut back due to the moisture. We had some really crazy rain earlier in the season, and it's potentially coming back again. And these guys don't like to be that wet. But also, John ordered a whole bunch more hellebore to tuck in along throughout here, which I can't wait. These are some of my very favorite flowers in the garden, especially since they're blooming in the winter. All the rest of this, John built these cute little fences for the heck of it. Let's put around this. Both sides of this garden are, well, this garden bed is full of Japanese maples. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in here. This little garden, this one is so beautiful. I don't know if you can really see, but this color just shines from a distance. You can't miss it. It's so pretty. But because we have all these Japanese maples in here, he decided to put some little bamboo fencing in. It's kind of cute. Okay, looking down here, there's not a whole lot Same thing, everything is sort of dormant. Should probably cut back the hellebore. These are daylilies that decided to pop up because, again, it's been so warm. These GM never seem to give up the ghost. They go all season long. They're so beautiful. Tangerine something. Oh yeah, you can see my tulips already. It's only January and they're already popped up. This is the south side and they do get protected from the greenhouse, but they shouldn't look like that. In the next few weeks, if it's really going to warm up and stay a little warmer, I want to get all of these. These are all chrysanthemums, heirloom mums, and I would like to get them all planted in here. This bed back here has been lilies the past few years. I'm not a huge fan of the lilies that are there, and if I can get chrysanthemums to grow here and they'll get the protection that they should be able to bloom in the fall and extend my season. So that's my goal. I also have a whole bunch of, these are all hydrangeas that all need a home, which I'm excited about. These are Armeria. John grew these all from seed. Just got to get them put along the edge of one of our flower beds to end it. This is one of the pollinator beds that we built last year. And look at these lupin. They're so happy. They really don't care that it's been freezing temperatures. They're just going for it. There is a plan to get this fully edged properly. I didn't really do a lot of that last year. Don't mind the holes. The dogs were digging out moles. I just got to fill them in. But I didn't really have a time, or didn't take the time to do a proper edge around here. So that's on the agenda for this spring. The greenhouse, we just did a little mini tour a week or so ago. There's one last place that I want to show you what it looks like, and it's over on the back side of the field on the north end. John's been doing a bunch of work back there. See what you think, get your input maybe, and see what more we can put back there. I'm pretty stoked about it. John's setting up with more compost and then the tiller, so you'll probably hear him a lot. But we're almost done. We sure are blessed to have the natural winter interest in our garden. All these trees, they just live here. Oh yeah. I don't know if you can see him down there. He's going for it. This was our surprise dahlia bed. They've all, died off for the winter, but we're leaving them in the ground. They should pop back up because it's especially been so warm. But this, John's calling our shrub garden. He put in these curbing, gonna put some mulch or bark on this pathway. But we've got all these shrubs. There's a viburnum, mock oranges, dogwoods, and we've got a bunch of daffodils, again like that one, that are starting to pop up. I videoed when I planted them all this last fall, shared that with you guys. But we have stuff like this is a Japanese anemone, and this really cool tree, this little pine. John's got a real love for pine trees. But I could use, if you have any ideas for plants that could cover like this ivy, the back side of this little mound. They won't get any sun really. I'm looking for shade-loving bedding plants that will help hold this backside together. Hi, Izzy. But again, more dogwood and viburnum. And these are all mock oranges and lilac, and randomly a daylily that's still alive. And then down here he's got his redwood and a giant sequoia and then a weeping willow. And this is a grass. But looking for ideas for shrubs or perennials that we could put in back here to help fill it in. Because the shrubs, it'll take years. This is a Russian sage, and it's hot, very hot and dry back here in this garden in the summertime. There's no water run out here, and it gets all the hot all day sun because it's the north end of the field. I don't know. I'll take your advice. Here's Winston. Also look, this pussy willow tree, the catkins are forming. These are red when they fully bloom. You can get that field all ready. This is, I think, the last step is before the field is ready to just put in the irrigation when it warms up a little bit and start planting. For once, this will be the first year, I think, that we're actually ready for planting when planting time comes. Usually we're last minute trying to get some of this stuff done, but this year John's been on it a lot more than I have. John has been definitely on it to make it happen. I'm so grateful for him. Okay guys, I think that's gonna do it for this video. I just wanted to show you around, talk about some of the projects coming up, and get some input from you guys, maybe your ideas. You'll probably have thought of something that I hadn't thought of, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Okay guys, I think that's gonna do it for this video. Not a whole lot going on, but a few projects, some progress on the ranunculus. I'd love to hear what your take on some of the plants that I could plant around this fire pit back here. I'd love to know, get your ideas, because I'm sure that there'll be some fantastic things that I hadn't thought of. All right guys, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.